Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me, Yeonni, and this week's video is on therapy. Are you considering therapy? Are you curious about therapy? What is therapy like, and will therapy help you? These are just a few questions that I had myself going into my social work degree at NYU, and I've learned a lot of things through this program. I work as a therapist in my internship placement, and I've been doing that for the past 2 years in this program, so I really feel like I've learned a lot, I've gained a lot. So I thought I would share a couple of the things that I've learned with you and just kind of give you some tips. I hope it helps in any way possible, and let's just get straight into the video. So the first thing I want to cover is, what is therapy? And honestly, it depends, because your therapist can come from all different kinds of backgrounds. Your therapist can be a psychiatrist, so he's gone to medical school so he can prescribe medicine to you. Your therapist could be a psychologist, so he has a PhD in psychology. Your therapist could be a clinical social worker like I am, so I have a more of a background in like person and environment perspectives. It is a very different perspective from a psychiatrist or a psychologist. Or your therapist could even be a licensed mental health counselor or mental health therapist. There's a lot of backgrounds that your therapist can come from, and that will determine what therapy is like for you. And that makes me think maybe that's why there's such a wide range of testimonies from people who have experienced going to therapy. Some people love it, it's changed their lives, it's for the better, and other people hate it. Like, they say therapy ruined my life. You hear a lot of those things, and I think something that we don't consider a lot of the times is that the term therapist is really generalized, and the therapist can come from all different kinds of backgrounds, from all different kinds of perspectives and different schools of thought, which affects how they conduct therapy and what kind of therapist they are. I think it's really important to emphasize right now that therapy is not like a one-size-fits-all, one mold fits all people type of an ordeal. Not at all. That's why people have such a wide range of different experiences. It's so important that you find a therapist, you find someone that aligns with your personality, aligns with your values and your experiences, and of course your goals for therapy, because you're there for a reason. So it's also good to kind of think of, what are your goals for therapy? So you've clicked my video because you're curious, clearly. So why are you curious? Did something happen and you need to process it? Is something bothering you and you want to talk to someone about it? Or do you want to be heard? Do you have things to say? You have things you want to express, but you feel like there just aren't people in your life at this time that are willing to listen to you. So do you want to be heard? These are all valid reasons why some people might consider therapy. And another question that I hear a lot is, how long does therapy take? And I'm sorry, it's the same answer, but it really depends. You can go for one session of therapy when you're going through something really intense, and that could be it. That connection with the therapist could have given you some sort of help and hope that you needed to hear at that moment. You might have met your goals after that session. You might be feeling a lot better. You just might never go back, and that's fine. Meanwhile, other people, they want to keep therapy going as a lifestyle, so they could go once a week for years on end. Some people, they want to go to therapy once a month for years on end. And certain people, they stop after a few years. Other people, they continue knowing their therapist all throughout their life and all the chapters in their lifetime. There really is no one definitive answer, because there's only one you, and every person's experience and goals for therapy are so different. For example, as a social worker, we have been recommended since day one of social work school that we should really see a therapist. Highly recommended to see therapists ourselves, because our job puts us in a place where we're listening to a lot of people's personal experiences, sometimes really traumatic experiences, and we sit with these experiences every day, and we process these experiences every day. And so it can really take a toll on my mental health and our mental health. So we are highly recommended to see a therapist all throughout our careers as social workers. That way we can kind of keep a balance within our mental health, so that we can be the best tool to help others with their mental health. What does a therapy session look like? What does it feel like? What does it sound like? These are some other questions that you could have regarding a therapy experience. And once again, if you don't see the pattern yet, here is the pattern. It really depends. There is no one answer. You could have therapy in all different kinds of environments. It could be in a hospital, in a medical center where I am working. It could be in a school school, if you want to see a therapist at your school, because your counselors can also have degrees to be therapists. I don't know if you did know, if you're in school or you're in college, there are mental health centers with licensed professionals there who can help you. So that can be a setting when you're in school. It can be in an office cubicle if your job has a social worker or a therapist on hand. It could be an office in City Hall, it can be an office in a social services agency. It can really be anywhere. It can really look like anything depending on your needs and your goals for this specific type of therapy that you're looking for. What does therapy sound like? Therapy should sound like you. What I mean when I say that is you should be doing the talking, you should be doing the reflecting. One of the biggest tenets of learning to become a therapist, learning to work with people and their mental health and their personal experiences, we're taught that basically we are professional listeners. And that's because we can't make people change. People need to change on their own. And sometimes that's scary, it's scary to feel like no one can help you exactly the way you want to be helped. But if I'm sitting there as a therapist telling you do this, and give you a list, your motivation for change comes from being told to change, not because you really feel like you need to. And that is why in therapy sessions, a lot of the times you'll be doing the talking. It might feel a little awkward, it might feel a little like, God, why am I telling this stranger all these inner thoughts that I haven't been able to even tell my closest friends and family? And I think that's what's really amazing about having a relationship with a therapist, because the therapist there, as in myself or any other therapist out there, we're there to listen to you, we're there to validate you, and we're sitting there and we don't know you personally, right? We don't know your temperament, we don't know your experiences, we only know to the extent that you choose to tell us. So we listen without bias, we listen without judgment. We're there to listen to you, we're there to hear you, and we're there for you to reach your goals in life, whether it's to find peace or happiness or success, whatever those terms look like in your life. Therapists are there to help you realize that, not by lecturing at you, but listening to you, helping you see maybe different perspectives to certain things in your life, and helping you make the changes that you want to make because you want to make it, not because we tell you to. Therapy should feel safe. Therapy should feel comfortable. Now, notice in all the things that I've just said, I've said the word should a lot of the times. And this is because therapists are also human. And the dynamic between a therapist and you, this therapeutic relationship, which is what you call it, is so intimate, is so personal, right? And honestly speaking, you may not have the most amazing therapy experience your first time around, or your second time around, or your third time around. That's because the therapist is also human, and like I said, can come from all different kinds of backgrounds, of beliefs, of values, of training, and you're a whole different person, and it would be completely unrealistic to say that the first therapist you meet is going to be the lifelong therapist, or the therapist that's going to give you the answers that you want, because we receive the training, we have the experience, but therapists are people too. They mess up sometimes. They had a bad day, and I'm not saying that's okay. We're trained to not let our personal lives affect our therapy sessions, but they're people, and sometimes therapists can say things, they can make you feel certain things that don't make you feel good. And these are just coming from experiences that I've heard from patients who've had negative experiences with therapy in their past. And I think it's just always good to go in realistically, being like this, because it's hard enough going into therapy in the first place because of the societal stigma, because Hollywood making therapy seem like it's something all dramatic and crazy or even shameful, which I have a lot to say about, but I won't in this video. So it's hard enough, taking that first step, being like, I want to see a therapist. I want to go into therapy. I want to pay this stranger to listen to me for an hour. It's a lot. It's awkward. It's stressful. It's confusing. How do you navigate that? I always emphasize how important it is to be realistic with expectations at all times, and just know that therapists are trained to be professional listeners, trained to be there for you, to listen to you, to have you be heard, to help you in a positive way, to make positive life choices. And because they're people themselves, it might not always be the best fit for you, But that doesn't mean you should not try in the first place, and that doesn't mean you should stop trying, because it's a service that's out there for you if you feel like you need it. If you feel like you've had a bad therapy experience, or if you're afraid of a negative therapeutic experience, I hope that you will remember, if you've watched this far in my video, if you hear anything from this video, is that if you have a negative therapeutic experience, it's not your fault. Okay? It could be the therapist's fault, but it might not even be the therapist's fault. But what's important is that it's not your fault. It just might not be a good fit for you. You know, you try on a pair of jeans, they don't fit well. Do you never wear jeans again for the rest of your life? No. You try on a different pair. You try on khakis. You try on corduroys. Maybe you try on a different brand of jeans. And therapy is very much not as simple and easy as jeans. But I hope that analogy kind of helps you see that if you truly feel like you have no one to talk to, therapists are out there to listen to you, to hear you. If you find that therapeutic relationship that works for you, that therapist who understands you, who clicks with you, I can't even put into words how much therapy can help people out there, that how much therapy has helped people out there really deal with their inner demons, whatever it is that you have gone through in your childhood, whatever it is you're going through right now. They can help, and they've been helping people all their lives, and people's lives have been changed for the positive. People have been finding peace, joy, happiness, closure with certain things in their life that they've had to carry in their hearts all their lives. Therapy has really been the key to opening up and really letting go of all that baggage. That is why I'm so passionate about being in this field, about doing this job, because it sounds pretty simple, right? We're professional listeners, we're gonna listen to you. It's easy to make fun of it, but I feel like it reflects so much of how this world is, how cold it has become, how there's so many standards and expectations and so much stigma around just being real and just listening to people without bias and judgment and really wanting the good for the people around you. And I know that is such a principal core value of therapy, of social work, of this kind of personal interaction as a mental health specialist. And I believe we need more of that. So that's it for my video on therapy. It was very generalized. I definitely can go into more details about a lot of different things that I've mentioned in this video. So if you would like more videos on that, please leave it in the comments down below and I'll be sure to check it out. If you do like these more talking therapy-like videos, please give this video a thumbs up so I know. I tend to make all different types of content because I have a lot of different interests in life, and frankly, life is too short to put yourself into one little box, one little label. So I do everything. So if you give this video a like, or even just let me know in the comments down below that these videos are helpful and you like them, I would love to continue making these. So yes, please subscribe to my channel. If you want more therapy-like, advice-like videos, I have made a few, so check them out. Hopefully some of them can be helpful to you for whatever you're going through right now. And yes, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your patience with me and my channel and my lack of a professionalism background slash camera. I'm recording on my phone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.